Mr Speaker, this government has managed the budget well, which means that we can afford to make a more significant investment into our agencies, not just ASIO, but the AFP, the ABF, AUSTRAC and others. And, Mr Speaker, since August of 2014, the government has boosted funding for our law enforcement, intelligence and security agencies by more than $2.3 billion. Mr Speaker, the resourcing that we've put into ASIO and to the Australian Federal Police's capacity to support the states and territories to prevent and respond to terrorism through multi-agency joint counter-terrorism teams across the country has resulted in, to date, 128 people having been charged as a result of 59 counter-terrorism-related operations around the country. And we know that the threat from terrorism is with us and will remain with us for a very long period of time. We also know, Mr Speaker, that levels of espionage in our country are now at greater levels than we saw in the peak of the Cold War. We are taking decisive action again to protect our sovereignty, as we must, and we've boosted ASIO's budget to the highest level in its 70-year history. Mr Speaker, I'm also very proud of the fact that we've been able to put in almost $70 million to the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation, because our highest priority is to make sure that we protect Australian children. And since the formation of the ACE, the Centre has received over 40,000 reports of child abuse material, resulting in just over 1,150 referrals to Australian law enforcement agencies. Most importantly, Mr Speaker, 113 Australian children have now been removed from harm through the work of that centre. Through the pandemic, as Australians have spent more time online, so too have the Australian Federal Police. I want to send a very clear message to those who are operating on the dark web, those who are operating on encrypted messaging apps such as operated by Facebook and others, who regularly are trading videos and images of children being sexually exploited and abused, that the Australian Federal Police now has a much greater presence as a result of our investment online to make sure that they can protect those children. So people who think that they are operating on the dark web and that they won't be detected, they need to recognise that the technology being deployed now by the Australian Federal Police and our agencies and our law enforcement partners, both here and internationally, is at a record high. We are not hesitating in adopting new technologies so that we can expose those people online that would seek to do significant harm and to destroy the lives of those young children.